a toy whistle, a box of Captain Crunch cereal, and a telephone. This isn't the setup for a bad dad joke, it's actually the origin story for one of the very first hacks that helped create the entire field of cybersecurity. The moment we humans first created codes to keep our secrets, there was somebody trying to steal them. When we as a species had only recently discovered the delightful comfort of a toga, the Cytel cipher of ancient Greece and Caesar's substitution cipher were trying to share information without the bad guys getting a hold of it. But the modern hacking we think about today really kicks into gear with the breaking of the Enigma machines used by the Nazis in World War II. Enigma was an unbelievably sophisticated cipher for its time, using a series of rotors to create a different code for every single message. The Nazis thought it was unbreakable. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Alan Turing and a brilliant team of the Allied forces' best and brightest gathered at Bletchley Park. Mathematicians, linguists, physicists, you name the science degree, they were probably there. This brain trust built the Bomba machine to crack Enigma's codes, helping the Allies win the war. This was the first large-scale systematic code-breaking effort. You might call it the spiritual ancestor of the work we do today. Thanks, fam. Fast forward to the 60s and 70s in the US ARPANET, the forerunner of what we know now as the internet, and it comes online in 1969. And almost immediately, we got our first computer virus. Rabbits, a program that did exactly what you may have intuitively assumed. It multiplied aggressively until it crashed the whole baby internet. But the real start of the modern cybersecurity came in 1971 with a test virus called Creeper. Despite the cringy name, the code wasn't actually malicious, but it did spread, creeping into mainframes and displaying this message, "I'm the Creeper, catch me if you can." And that led to the first antivirus program, Reaper, which was designed to hunt down and eliminate Creeper. Red team, blue team, it was all happening right there. In the 1970s, long-distance calls were expensive and might have been initiated on a rotary phone. Yes, I know some of you all might need to ask a grandparent what that is. Anyhow, a group of early hackers called phone phreakers figured out that a 2600 hertz tone could trick AT&T's network into giving them free calls. Some could even whistle the tone perfectly on their own. For everyone else, that cheap toy whistle did the trick. It was this simple and elegant hack that showed how vulnerable our critical infrastructure really was. Things started getting official in the 80s. President Reagan watched the movie War Games and was so spooked that it led to NSDD 145, which is a directive that formally tasked the NSA with securing US computer networks, prompting early cyber regulations in the US called the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986. That same year, we basically saw the invention of the modern incident responder. A guy named Cliff Stoll at Berkeley Lab noticed a tiny 75-cent accounting error. He started digging. That single anomaly unraveled an international espionage ring linked to the KGB. The way he did it? Analyzing logs, detecting anomalies, monitoring the system. This became the blueprint for incident response and the frameworks for threat investigations that we use today. Then the Morris worm hit in 1988. Fun story. This was literally a prank by a Cornell grad. No, it was not Andy Bernard, but it was a student-led prank that got wildly out of control, infecting about 10% of the entire internet at the time. It didn't destroy data, but it ground the network to a halt. Morris became the first person convicted under that new anti-hacking law. And the attack, it served as a major wake-up call. In response, the Department of Defense created the first ever CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team. The 90s and the early 2000s are when things get really juicy. The web goes mainstream, and so does cybercrime. We get polymorphic viruses that can mutate to avoid detection. Sounds like instant job security for security teams, right? We had the Melissa virus, the I love you bug. It was a mess. Billions were lost, sadness prevailed, a general mood settled that was a low-key bummer. This is when the industry starts to get serious. They start to professionalize this burgeoning function in public and private sector called cybersecurity. The Department of Homeland Security creates the National Cybersecurity Division in 2003. Then we see regulations like HIPAA and PCI DSS force the healthcare and finance industries to get serious about protecting data. Okay, quick reminder, we're only in 2006, which sounds not that long ago. But then I remembered what I was doing in 2006, and reality came crashing back very quickly. The last almost 2 decades has seen a totally different game come to play. We're talking about cloud adoption, nation-state attacks, ransomware as a service, and the rise of AI on both sides of the fight. The old idea of security perimeter, it's gone. Now it's all about identity, data, and resilience. Think about the pivotal moments. Edward Snowden in 2013 didn't just link files, he made data privacy a dinner table conversation, and it pushed the entire tech industry toward end-to-end encryption. The Target breach in 2013 happened because of a compromised HVAC vendor. That one attack completely changed how we think about third-party risk, connected devices, and what was really at the time the beginning of the Internet of Things. Then there was the SolarWinds debacle of 2020. This was a sophisticated supply chain attack that gave the attackers a dwell time of 14 months, meaning the malicious code and the attacker exploiting the access had more than a year before anyone realized it was happening. This basically killed the operating goal to prevent the breach, because we should probably shift to assume breach mindset, focusing on detection and response. Then we had the Colonial Pipeline in 2021 getting shut down by a single compromised password for an old VPN account that didn't have multi-factor authentication turned on. PSA, for all you techies out there whose families think you work in computers and are coming to you for advice, start with multi-factor authentication on all services they use. They may forget to thank you, but I will. Thanks for taking care of them. The Colonial Pipeline attack reminded us that sometimes the biggest national security threats aren't 0 days. They're basic security hygiene from us, the people. We're the weakest link. Goodbye. That event directly led to a presidential executive order pushing the zero trust architecture concept into the mainstream and the need for a software bill of materials, also known as SBOMs. And just to prove it isn't always about shadowy hackers, look at the massive CrowdStrike outage in 2024. A faulty update to a venerable and trusted provider of tools that the modern security professional likely depends on, not a malicious attack, created a global blue screen of death, grounding airlines and halting banks. If you had travel plans that day, this is a core memory, and for that, I am truly sorry. But it proved a point we make all the time. Resilience is the real gold standard, not just blocking attacks, but building systems and processes and teams to keep us safe, informed, and prepared. Because the only thing more dangerous than a good hacker is a well-prepared blue team. Want more stories like this? Hit that subscribe button. We've got more cyber theory episodes coming your way.